This is Andy Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm delighted to be joined by the juggernaut, Joyce, over Zoom. Joe, first and foremost, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm well. I'm good. It's just got up really.
It's good to hear. Now, you're saying you just got up. Originally, you asked to do 3 p.m., so was the plan to have a line till 3 p.m.?
You are not 3 p.m., but I don't know. Obviously, during the lockdown, it's hard to get into a routine. But this week, I've kind of been getting up. I've been waking up early, but then being tired all day. I don't know. So I managed to sleep in a little bit today, and then obviously get up. But,
How are you finding life in lockdown, Joe? How is it kind of, obviously it's been very different to what you've known for probably the past 15, 20 years of your life, having a boxing routine to kind of follow and a training regime to follow. What's lockdown been like for you?
it's been, I don't know. It's been like a bit of a holiday. I don't know, a bit of a wind down, and I've just managed to have a bit of time off, and I've been just ticking over really, doing a few cycles and runs and stuff like that. But it's I'm normally kind of in lockdown anyway. I like playing computer games, but it's been like a bit too long, and then you get bored of that. Like normally, like after training, I'm like, oh yeah, I can have a quick game or whatever. But it's just like too much time, and there's like you've got so much time and nothing to do really. But we've been lucky with the weather, so it's been like been out there in the sun, and managed to get to my dad's in Devon. I went there twice and went to the beach and that, and went to Brighton. Took my mum to Brighton last week, and went again with my girlfriend. So yeah, it's been all right.
As I mentioned, obviously for a number of years you've been involved in the sport, and you've always had some type of preparation going on in your own life. With
Yeah,
kind of downtime, has it been kind of important for you just to be able to reflect and to take your foot off the gas a little bit, I suppose?
yeah, and just like refresh. Just so when I get back to training, I'll be really, because when you get that time off, I think you can kind of, yeah, you get a chance to reflect, and then when you come back, you really like want to get yourself back fit again, and it doesn't seem monotonous or at all. You're like, it's a fresh new start, so I'll be like really looking forward to like hitting something and putting combinations together and working on stuff. And it's been a long time since I've boxed, so it's quite tough. Like it's especially this stage of my career, I really don't need that much time off. I need to get back in the ring again and get some more wins under my belt.
We'll start going through all that, and we'll start off with training. What have you been doing, or what can you do training wise at this moment in time?
Um, what I've been doing is a lot of my mates have got bikes, so we went for a cycle. I think where did we start? Virginia Water, and then we went all the way to Windsor Castle and back. And yeah, that was a good ride. I've been riding around here. I went to Box Hill, up Box Hill, a few times, and um, we went to Richmond Park like with my mum and my brother before the lockdown. But then they obviously closed the parks because it was mad busy, like at first, yeah. So obviously things are starting to open up again. So I'll probably head there today. I don't know if Richmond Park's open again, but do you know anything? You got
I
any?
don't know, mate. I'm not from
Why don't you
Birmingham.
know?
I'm
No,
not
I'm
from
joking.
Birmingham. I'm in the
I'm
middle of
looking.
nowhere, mate.
Yeah, it's not that far.
Obviously, you had that fight date ready with Daniel Dubois, and you teamed back up with Ismail Salas. You was going to be training out in Vegas. I imagine that's obviously impacted your plans a lot. When or what kind of talks have you had with Salas or with the British Boxing Board of Control about when you could look to fly out, when you can start training again?
Well, I've rung up Salas to see how he's doing, and he's back in the gym training, and he's got his little son training. He's really smart. He's coming along, and I think the gym's like reopened again out there. So he's been training some of the other fighters out there in Vegas. But I think some flights are starting to fly again, aren't they? So I'm not sure about to America and how hard it would be back to get back into America. But we'll have to see. Maybe when things open up again properly, I can either head out there or maybe might be able to come over here.
There are obviously, restrictions in place with regards to flying, and then, for people coming into.
And then the quarantine once you get there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I need to. So start from next week. I'll probably start getting back into the gym with Cam, and hopefully do some pads with someone else, and just get my body back right, and start hitting pads again, and then take it from there. Just build up again, and then when I get a chance to fly, then probably head over there, or I don't know. Depends how. So obviously Queensbury and Frank Warren are going to start putting boxing on again, so we'll see how that goes, and then hopefully I'll get out in like September or something.
Obviously, depending on the travel restrictions that are in place, is there a chance or a possibility that you may team back up with a British coach if there are difficulties for you flying out to Vegas? You might team back up with Adam Booth, for example. Is that something you've thought about?
Yeah, I mean, that's a possibility. I don't know. I'd have to ask him.
When you do, obviously, I haven't spoken to you about it, teaming back up with Ishmael. What was the plan and the thought behind it?
Me and Salas gel really well, and I think because it's such an important fight in Daniel Dubois, it's one fight that I need to win, and then from then it propels me to, for them big world title fights, and it ticks the box and silences all them the fans that think Dubois is going to knock me out and put me to sleep, and I just wanted to show everyone how good I am.
What makes you feel that obviously Ishmael would be the better coach to kind of get the qualities out of you for the Dubois fight then?
I think more on an offensive side of things, and I don't know. I think Salas really gets me, and I am familiar with his kind of style, and I think his style would suit the beating of Daniel Dubois.
You mentioned there, there's been a lot of people who've been saying they're thinking Daniel will stop you and he'll knock you out. What's your thoughts when you do read those comments?
Well, talk's cheap, and who's making those comments? Have they? I don't know. I've sparred with Dubois, so I know what he can. He's a very strong guy, and if I leave my chin out there, he will take it off. So it's just about being smart and educated in the ring, and just it might be a case of me just wearing him down, slowly juggling him, bashing him up, and trying not to take too much in the process, because he's got a strong punch, and I don't want to get laid out. He'd have to staple me to the floor, and he's got the power to do that. So it's a risky fight, and it's such an exciting fight. That's why people want to see it. And this fight needs to be in front of an audience. It can't be behind closed doors. I don't think. I think Frank Warren has agreed that too.
We'll come on to behind closed door shows and what have you in a moment, but just to stick with the fight, I did an interview with Nathan Gorman a few days ago. Nathan said he could either see Daniel stopping you in the first 6 or you beating him beyond that. Do you think that that's the likelihood, that not necessarily that you think Daniel will stop you, but do you think that's Daniel's best chance to try and get at you early, or you will beat him down the stretch?
Yeah, I think that's quite an accurate
Prediction.
prediction. Yeah, yeah. I actually watched that on Instagram actually just this morning. So yeah, I do agree with that.
I mean, how in your own mind did you see the fight going before lockdown and before coronavirus became the global pandemic that it has become?
I was in training camp in Vegas. I was ready. I was using the UFC facility for my strength work. I was training in Salas's new gym with Ronnie as well, and putting some good work, doing 12-round sparring. I sparred that in now,
Ngannou.
yeah, and and another two of the American heavyweights there, and they were like, they're really top notch. Had the speed, the power, like. I was firing on all cylinders, and I was just getting to the stage where I was really like starting to, pick it up with fitness and speed, and I was just about to start doing my speed work, doing all my explosiveness, and my engine was there. I was ready to go, man, and, and then like a huge spanner went in the spokes.
What's your knowledge of when we could expect to see yourself and Daniel face each other?
I don't know. It just depends when it all opens up again, when there can be a crowd. So whether that's I don't know, September, November, December, January, February, I don't know when it will be, but when it will be, it still captures the imagination.
Do you think there is a chance, or that you are open to fighting behind closed doors if that was the only option?
Fighting Dubois behind closed doors.
If it was the only option?
Possibly,
I suppose.
but I don't know.
Go on, mate. What was you going to say?
But it's not. It won't be the same. It's not the same without a crowd. It'd be just a bit. It'd be just a bit dry and still, like empty hall fights, mate. That's like my amateur days when we would go to like some, I don't know, European flipping tournament or something where there's just like a whole arena and like there's only like coaches and like a couple of people there. Like, you can hear a pin drop, hear the wind.
I spoke to Sam Jones, your manager, a couple of weeks ago now, and he said that if it did reach a point where maybe September, October time rolls around and there's still no news as to when you and Daniel could face each other, he'd like to see you have a fight before you fought Daniel. Is that kind of the path you could see happening if the Daniel fight wasn't to happen by then? You're open to having a kind of a warm up or a tick over about before then?
Yeah, I could do that. Even Daniel could probably do with one as well. I don't know.
Who do you think there's more pressure on him to fight, yourself or Daniel?
He's like, he wants, like, he's kind of the face of. It's the battle of who's going to be the face of the Queensbury Promotions, Frank Warren, and we're both like fighting for that top spot. So it's so who has the most pressure? Well, I feel like I've been in big fights, for big stadium fights, like the Olympics, Commonwealth Games, and stuff like that. So I know how to perform under pressure and in front of a large audience. So I think my experience will be the deciding factor, and my engine.
I've always been curious to know, is like, you've just mentioned the Olympics there, the events you've fought in front of millions of people worldwide. What's an athlete's mindset going into about such high magnitude where, you know, I'd feel the pressure. I know that I would if I was in that situation. How do you cope? What's your mindset heading into something of that level of pressure and magnitude?
I had a moment during the Olympics. I think my first fight, I was like, "Oh my god, it's the Olympics! Like, there's so many people watching. What am I gonna do? Shit!" But yeah, I managed to get over that and like just get in the ring. I've got my opponent there, and just I think I stopped my first opponent.
Obviously, picking up that silver medal at the Olympics, it was a controversial decision to say the least. How often do you reflect on it? How often do you have kind of a bitterness towards that decision?
Yeah, but I now I don't really care now. Like I've moved on, and I don't know. I think I'm in a better place than matey anyway.
What do you make of that amateur judging system? A lot of people talk about how it's not necessarily up to scratch or can create controversy at many different tournaments. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, so when I started boxing, it was still the computer scoring. So it was a bit like, I don't know, you could there was a way how it sorted out the averages that it could make someone win or lose. It was a bit of a weird system. But then it obviously changed back to a more pro system. Apart from if you knock someone down, you don't automatically get a 10-8 round. It just counts as a point. So they're looking for different things, the judges. But the Olympic boxing is unanimous for being bent anyway. With AIBA and that. So I kind of, it's like they already had decided who was going to win the Olympics anyway. I think it was a bit. I smelt a rat. I knew something was going down when when I was getting ready to go out when I was in the finals and that. But I mean, it was a close fight, and I've heard people argue either way, but I mean, most people think I won that fight, and it's now on YouTube again, so you can go and watch it again because they obviously took it off straight after the Olympics, didn't want anyone to see and to fight that decision. So now you can go and rescore the bout and see what you think.
You said you could tell something was going on before the fight, before the final was going to take place. Just expand on that. What do you mean?
I don't know, because I'd been in the red corner for all my other fights, and then I was suddenly put in the blue, and I don't know. I just had a weird feeling getting ready. It didn't quite feel right, and then obviously after the first round, Lee Pullen came in, and I kind of could sense something was going awry, and so I thought I won the first round, and then the second round he came and was like, "Joe, you're 2 rounds down, mate. You got to knock him out." So I was like, "Okay." So I went in again, and I thought I bashed him up, and then I think he's trying to showboat doing the alley shuffle, and then I was still hitting him, and then I think obviously in his corner told him, because what we was doing was, some of all the rest of us that are in the crowd, we could kind of see the computers before it gets announced. So what it'd show what the scores were for the round. So then they'd be like that, and so they must have been signaling. So I think he knew it was okay, and he knew he had won. If you look at his the coach was like, "Yeah, you've won this," and after the third round, and then he obviously did his celebration, and then I had to have all them interviews and testing, and then no one wanted to go to the closing ceremony. And then we had a party, but then I had media at 7:30 a.m. So I couldn't stay up. So I think I stayed. I looked at the time. I was like, it's 4:00. So I better go to bed. And then I had to get up for media and then fly back. I didn't even get to see any of Rio. I wanted to see at least the Christ the Redeemer and was it Cabana Beach? Yeah. See something. I was just stuck in the bubble in in the training camp and the village. That's all I saw.
What's it like as an amateur being able to travel the world with your mates and with your pals? And I imagine you can maybe share a few stories that you guys used to get up to while she was out and about.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's plenty of fun. Apart from the runs in the morning, especially in Sheffield, when the coaches were taking the runs, where we had like 3 minute free freeze. Oh, so 3 minutes on, 1 minute off, times three. That used to be killer. And then obviously when WSB started, it was 5 3-minute rounds on the track, the indoor track, man. That used to kill us. But yeah, the training camps were good. It's like it's like being at school or at uni. You're with the people your own age, and it's like plenty of bants flying around, and you're all going through the same grueling training together. So it's it was a good experience, and I got to travel the world and see like different countries that I wouldn't have normally gone to on holiday. Like, I don't know, Ukraine, Estonia. With the WSB, I went one year. I went Cuba, China, Ukraine, and like Mexico. So I was, I did a bit of traveling.
We were speaking of that Olympic finals fight there with Tony Yoka. Both of you professionals now. If everything went to plan against Daniel, would you want to set the record straight with Tony? Would you like to have a fight with him as a professional?
Yeah, if it was for good reason and people wanted to see it, like, yeah, I mean, if it makes sense, then I'll consider it. I don't think there's ever been an Olympic final rematch.
No. I just remember Conlan versus Nikita, and I know that wasn't a final, obviously, but that was a controversial decision.
Yeah. Could right the wrongs there. That'd be the fourth outing. I thought I beat him all three, but so I beat him the first one in the European Games, and then the Worlds. I was coming off injury, but it was a closer fight, but I still think I edged it. And then obviously the Olympics, I thought I won that. And he both times for the Worlds and the Olympics, he had Filip Hrgović, and like those two decisions were a bit funny as well. But I don't know. There you go. It is the sport of boxing. It's not like 100 meters where if you're faster than someone, you're faster than someone. There's no like, oh nah, but you know what I mean. It's not down to the judges.
Just to move back to, and my final question on Daniel, there was some talk from Frank, your promoter, saying that they'd look to make, or they think Daniel will be ready to face Deontay Wilder within a year or so. When you read that, or when you saw that, what was your thoughts?
Well, it's a bit like, what is he? Is he trying to like Are they trying to like overlook my fight, or are they trying to look for other options? I don't know. So it's just. I think they both can bang, but I don't think Dubois ready for Wilder just yet. He has to get through me first, which he's not.
Do you see the potential?
Sorry, was you going to say? Sorry, what? Exhibit? No, joking.
Do you see the potential in Ninja? Do you see like why people talk about him as having a long future up at the top of the heavyweight division?
Yeah, I mean the guy's only 22, so he's got a lot of years to come, and yeah, I can see it. I mean, he's got the attributes to become a world champion.
Joe, you mentioned sparring with Francis Ngannou as well earlier. There's been some talk about a potential cross-sport clash between himself and Dillian Whyte. If we was to see that, Joe, what are your thoughts on it, knowing you've shared the ring with Francis?
Francis can bang is very strong, mate. So, I mean, who knows? He could knock Dillian Whyte out, man. But you know, Dillian Whyte's obviously tough, and he's done more boxing, but he's done kickboxing as well. So maybe they could do one each. He could probably do a bit of UFC as well.
From your sparring experiences, do you feel Ngannou could adapt to boxing and have a good fight or a competitive fight rather with Dillian Whyte?
Yeah, definitely. Because if you see with UFC, it's so many disciplines that you have to train for. You have to have a good stand-up game, which involves boxing, kickboxing, I don't know, Thai boxing, and then you got to have a good ground game, so wrestling, jiu-jitsu, stuff like that, and you know, your body's like more well-rounded for actual fighting, and boxing is obviously a lot more simple, but it's the sweet science. So it's more refined because you're only using your hands, so your footwork, your head movement, and your punch techniques and variety of punches has to be a lot greater than UFC, where you have your guard can be a bit looser because you've got your kicks, you've got your front kick, you've got, you're spinning back, you got your kicks are like longer range than your jabs, so it's a different distance. So when you come in close, you don't know where it's coming from. Maybe it's going to be a kick, it's going to be a punch, you know what I mean? And then if you get too close, and it turns into grappling, and then you're like, your arms being almost broken. So like, you know what I mean? You need to be able to defend or attack against all those things.
My final question, Joe, before I do leave you to enjoy the rest of your day. There's a lot of talk at the minute about that potential undisputed heavyweight title fight between Anthony Joshua, somebody who you'll know very well from your GB days, and Tyson Fury. If the pair were to meet in the near future, what are your thoughts on it? How do you see it playing out?
It's a big fight. I can't wait. I can't wait till they finally get in the ring and see who's number one. Because I don't know. Because obviously they've both showed they can go on the front foot and the back foot. Joshua is, he's a beast. He can punch and he can put them together. So he's got very dangerous punch output. But then Tyson Fury, he's not going to stay there and wait for him to be hit. And he's taller than Joshua with a longer range, and he's got better head movement, and it's going to be an interesting fight. I can't. Oh, and I think it's going to definitely be an interesting fight because they can both trouble each other with punches and knock each other out. Obviously, Joshua's got like the more like classic boxing style, high guard, and Fury's also can the low guard and elusive style. But then obviously Joshua could go on the back foot, etc. But maybe not as well as Tyson Fury. So it's going to be interesting.
Well, Joe, we will leave that there now then, like I say. But before I let you go, what would you like to say to everyone who does tune in to watch our interview?
I don't know. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, and you'll just stay tuned for my next fight.
Joe, it's been
stay well, stay healthy, and just keep it moving, and support your local black businesses.
Joe, it's been a pleasure to catch up with you, and I'll hopefully speak to you soon. Stay safe, and thank you for speaking to Boxing Social.